Hi, I'm Julie Fleming, and this is the Alzheimer's Caregiver Minute. Today's topic is hospitals. Depending on your parents' healthcare status, you may end up spending more time in hospitals than you ever imagined. And there's some things that I have learned you have to watch out for. Number one is that no matter how terrific the staff is at the hospital, they're going to be overworked, probably understaffed. They're probably not going to have the time that they would like to have to provide care. One of the things that they're not going to have time to do in many instances is to look at your parents' chart to find out that they have Alzheimer's. So, a couple of things you can do. Some hospitals have adopted what's called the Purple Angel Project, and that's where a purple angel is placed on the door to the hospital room where someone who has Alzheimer's is staying. That's the sign. From what I understand, it works very well, but unfortunately, it has not yet been adopted in a lot of hospitals. If that's an option, definitely go for it. Alternatively, you need to be prepared to be your parent's advocate, especially if your parent doesn't look like they have anything wrong with them cognitively. For many years, my father, even though he was substantially impaired in executive function, in memory, in communication skills, he seemed great if somebody came in the room and said, "How are you doing?" So you need to be prepared to let people know that your parent has Alzheimer's. Perhaps if you can't be in the room all the time, which really nobody can be, to have a caregiver come in and be your parent's advocate. Some hospital systems actually have caregivers on staff who will stay in the room with your parents, so ask about that. Alternatively, you may need to look to a professional caregiver or an agency of some sort. Another thing to be very careful about is making sure that you have your parents' advance directives in place. There is plenty of information that you need about that. Be sure you consult with a lawyer, talk with your parents' doctor as soon as you can before they ever need to go to the hospital to make sure you have the bases covered. And be sure that you bring that information to the hospital with you every single time. And be sure that you are very clear and that the hospital is very clear, especially on your parents' DNR status, do not resuscitate status. The last thing to think about is how you can make parents' hospital room as familiar as it can be, given that it is not a familiar space. Think about bringing in pictures, perhaps bringing in something that's tactile that is helpful for your parents. So it may be some kind of game. It may be something as simple as a warm, fuzzy bathrobe, something that he or she can hold. Sometimes it's a stuffed animal or a little rubber toy of some sort, whatever it may be. Just something that your parent is accustomed to having around. And probably goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, nothing valuable. Think about what you can do so that at least it doesn't look like a sterile, unfamiliar environment. And of course, this is more important as your parent advances in the disease. So those are three things for you to think about. There's a lot that will come up if your parent does go into the hospital. But those are the things that you can think about in advance and or have ready to go as you're taking your parent into the hospital. Please let me know what questions you have. I'll do my best to answer them or to get some feedback from the people who've been so helpful to me. That's it for today. Bye.